Yes, people, it's reflection time. What's going on? Welcome to United View. It is the morning after the night before. I know it don't look like it, but it is. Yeah, it's like 1:30 in the morning. It's reflection time, and I like doing these videos. I haven't done them for a little while. Like, started doing them, then international break hit, and there's been, a couple of games that have been down in the studio. But yeah, back on the road, man. And what was the main thing that I was thinking? I was thinking about the statement that Erik ten Hag sent to Rashford, actually, if I'm being honest. The more I break it down, because obviously it's a good win against Chelsea, but it was actually a really big thing for him to do that. Not as big as it had to be, because that sort of reaction should have happened ages ago. That sort of decision from Ten Hag to go with the players that deserve the shot. Do you know what I'm saying? I get it. Like, he's given Rashford a lot of backing, and I owe KG and Owen money now because of this. And I just thought there was no way that Erik ten Hag was gonna drop Rashford. I just didn't see it. And look, essentially, obviously we won the game, and can you say we won the game because Rashford wasn't there? It's all his fault. Why Man United are rubbish? No. But the players that did play, I think they made a big difference. And in terms of the direct replacement for Rashford, which was Anthony today, you have to say, yesterday should I say, you have to say it was the right choice. Anthony, he worked really hard. He wasn't great in terms of on the ball. He wasn't, and I get that. But he gave a minimum base level. That's what he did do. You know what I mean? And for the rest of the players in the squad, what it does show is that actually this manager's not just going to pick all the favourites, or even the favourites can run out of luck. You know what I'm saying? Even the favourites can run out of game time and have to, be shown a lesson. And let's have it right, really. Rashford come on with like 9 minutes to go. I think he come on in like the 81st minute, didn't he? So that's not exact. That's not exactly, it wasn't like Ten Hag dropped him, and at times where he might not have started before, he can't wait to get him on. 60th minute, 65th minute. It wasn't that. And when he did come on, he kept the wingers exactly the same. He kept Garnacho on, and he kept Anthony on. Why? Because they were working hard. They were in the groove of the game, and they were doing the things that they needed to do off the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is so important. And Garnacho did a lot more on it as well than Anthony did. But they were given the balance, and they were given their all, and that's all you can ask for. And by putting Rashi on up front for like 9 minutes, it was almost like let's go up front so you stay out the way of this build-up play, of this working back, and following their fullbacks forward. I think Erik ten Hag probably thought, look, the game's getting on a little bit, Chelsea might start pushing on, and he didn't trust Rashford to do it. He liked the balance of the wingers, and that's a big statement. And now, when you go ahead to Bournemouth now, like, you can't really change that team. We created a lot of chances. We missed a lot of chances, but we created a lot of chances. And Garnacho's in a good groove. The only way he can't start Garnacho is if, because he's young, he wants him to kind of have a little bit of a rest, have a little bit of a break, because you want to keep the young kid out of the limelight. You don't want to just keep rinsing him. But Garnacho, listen, got an assist today. He laid on a couple of chances as well in the first half. Should have scored a couple chances himself. Clean through a couple times. So he's doing way more on the ball than Rashford. And actually, when I'm thinking about Garnacho, just to have a conversation about him, and this is why I like doing these reflection videos, you can just literally get in your bag. Garnacho's starting to show good promise. Still can't get ahead of ourselves. He's still very raw, still makes, still not clinical. But someone said, I think it was when we done the fan views, and Haley's godson, I think, young lad, he was like, Garnacho gets me off my seat. And you do get a little bit of that when he just picks up the ball, especially in the first half. That's down my side. In the first half, he had Marc Cucurella on skates. Marc Cucurella was on skates. I don't know why. He played right back. I don't know the Chelsea perspective, because they're not good. But I don't know the reasoning behind Pochettino not playing Reece James from the start. Because I only thought he was out because of a suspension. I didn't know he was going to be not starting this game. And yeah, Garnacho just had him on toast, guys. Like, the way he picks up the ball, how aggressive he is. He reminds me of, and again, you don't know about the finished article, and you look at how Martinelli's playing now and how polished he is. But Garnacho reminds me of like the early stages of like how Martinelli was, where it's like, it is a little bit head down, it is a little bit, you know what I mean, raw and like rough around the edges, but you see that the improvement and improvement and improvement. Listen, Martinelli's playing at a fantastic level now. He's made it. But I remember when I was first watching him, I used to be like, he's just a bit erratic. You don't really know what he's going to do with the ball. And Garnacho's a little bit like that. But what you do know is that the fullback's going to have, you know what I mean, have to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So I like the kid. At the end of the day, before last season, it was very much still an impact player. He's still, you know what I mean, someone who can come off the bench when players are tired. Then the challenge for him this season was to kick on and become a starter and start impacting games from the beginning. And he's doing it to the point where, listen, he's keeping Marcus Rashford out of the team. It's as simple as that. Then we've shoehorned Marcus Rashford into the right-hand side, which, you know, the overlap he done with Gary Neville will tell you that he doesn't want to play there and he doesn't like playing there. Obviously, you try and do a job for the team. And at the beginning stages of him going on the right, we did sort of say, is it better for him because he has to pass it, or he has to find a cross, or his mind is already made up because he's not going to run from outside to in from the right hand side. He's only going to really do that from the left. But yeah, it quickly become, you know, apparent in the last couple of games with him being on the right that he just hasn't been at it. And something, I don't know what it is. If there's something behind the scenes, if there's something up with him, but his attitude's been way off. Amrabat as well. You know what I mean? When I was angry at 5 earlier, I was like, send him back yesterday before the game. But he played well. He, like I said, he wasn't doing a Declan Rice, he wasn't doing a Rodri, he wasn't covering all the ground and doing a madness. But he seemed to put out a lot of fires before they started, you know. And when there needed to be a little bit of combative play and winning the ball, keeping the ball recycled, he just did his job. So he was steady for him. So I enjoyed his performance. And Harry Maguire, man, like the bigger picture is like, I think Charlie said it. He's been our most consistent player this season. And look, the season's nothing to write home about, by the way. You know what I'm saying? The season is not where we want it to be. But when you look at the balance of it, since he's come in for injury, it's like he has been super consistent. You know what you're getting with him, you know? And he does deserve credit for that. I think someone said it on the fan view, on the fan group wrap up, right? Said, look, let's not get carried away. You know, McTominay's doing his thing, he's scoring goals in this moment, but we're all aware of the limitations that Scott McTominay possesses. Yeah, like I think I saw a stat. Charlie told me a stat. I think he only completed 21 passes or something. Which again, if you're going to score the goals, mate, and you're going to be our most likely goal scorer, you can't get onto him. You can't get onto him. The man's scoring the goals. But longevity-wise and how we want to play and what we want to be doing, we obviously don't want to have that situation with Scott McTominay in there. But he's doing well. The same with Harry Maguire. I feel like, yes, he's got his head together and he deserves massive credit for coming out of that bad patch when he's been ridiculed, he's been trolled, people laughing at him. And someone else spoke about the mental health side of that as well. Like, it has not been easy for him, and to see him putting in good performances is refreshing. And the last thing I wanted to touch on is there were players out there fighting. There was, against Chelsea. Now look, what I have actually realised is that Chelsea obviously ain't good. Yeah, they're a mid-table team. Chelsea are a mid-table team. They're crap, absolutely pony. They are, they're shit. Mudryk, I mean, people talk about Anthony, yeah, for £80 million. This kid's been bought for £88 million, you know, snatched under the nose of Arsenal, laughing at Arsenal. You know what I mean? And what's he done since he's gone there? Nothing.
In the Mudryk.
Exactly. Mikhailo in the Mudryk. That's what he is. Rubbish. You know, they got Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo in that midfield. Did they look amazing? No, we had Scott McTominay and Amrabat. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, and Bruno, but you know, they did jack crap. Like Enzo Fernandez. Like, for me, I've said it already, and people like say, oh no, Flex, like, he's overrated. I'm not saying he's not good, Not saying he can't score a goal, not saying he can't lick it from 25 yards or whatever, but for what they bought for £120 million, nah, not for me, not for me. And look, we got our own midfield issues to sort, by the way. People can say, 60 million on Mason Mount, you did this, you did that. I'm not saying that. We got our own issues. I'm just talking about Chelsea right now because they're shit and they're lower than us. And Caicedo, again, you know what I mean? They didn't boss the midfield. So I think our midfield has actually done a good job against a really poor outfit. You know what I mean? Their build-up play, Chelsea trying to pass up from the back. Matisse was chucking it about Robert Sanchez. You know what I mean? Saying how much better he is than Onana. Mate, I saw him kicking it in the stands. I saw him rushing passes, passing it to a red shirt instead of a blue. That was part of our press as well, by the way. And yeah, okay, cool. He saved the penalty, which was a poor penalty by Bruno. I don't know. I just think, nah, they got a lot of players there. They spent all that money, and you're looking at it, you're like, they ain't great. They ain't great at all. Do you know what I mean? Cucurella, you don't want him playing right back. Axel Disasi, yeah, it's just all right. Just all right. So, yeah, I just think, in the grand scheme of things, look, I'm still upset because we can't. That's what I mean. We can't actually take loads from that Chelsea game because Chelsea ain't good. That's what my main part of the reflection is, and it's like against Bournemouth. Okay, hopefully we dispatch of Bournemouth, which they've been playing all right recently, so that's not gonna be easy at home. But the two after that, Bayern Munich at home in the Champions League, Liverpool away, and you're just like, just don't get mashed up. If you want to do anything this year, or even keep trying to push for the top four and make sure we keep Ten Hag in the job so we can fight, like you have to put in some decent performances, man. In the next it is all the games really, because if you're underwhelming against Bournemouth and you draw at home, or if we lost against Bournemouth at home, like after beating Chelsea, that would be disgusting. Some would say sackable offence. Wouldn't go that far, but that wouldn't be great. But I saw enough. Look, against average teams, right, which Chelsea are, we do all right. And that's the truth. We do all right. We do all right against average teams. But overall, when we play the better teams, we absolutely struggle. So we have to try and find a continuum. We have to try and find a steady line to be at, because the disparity between the performances when we play good opposition versus average opposition is too big. It's way too big. I don't know if that's a mental thing. I don't know if that's players clocking off. I don't know if it's just a pure ability thing. But whatever it is, the gap's too big. I think it's a just not trying thing. I think the effort is they can't mentally and physically match intensity from other teams that when they're really good. That's why Newcastle ran up on us. That's why they ran up on us twice. That's why City dusted us down in the derby. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think there is some positives. Saw a few people fighting for Ten Hag. I liked what I saw. I mean, Hojlund as well. Actually, I want to say that just quickly. Like, he's just not getting. He's not. Not that he's not doing enough. I don't see him enough in the games. It's like we don't play through him. And is that a him thing where he needs to be more involved? He needs to offer more. Yes, some decent bits of hold-up play. He forced Sanchez into a decent save early in the first half as well, across goal. But essentially, it's like he's nearly on the end of them tap-ins in the Premier League. He's nearly on the end of them tap-ins where the people are crossing it or shooting, and he's nearly there. But he just doesn't look like a massive goal threat. And look, expectation came with the money that we spent on him. But in terms of the player that we bought, we did buy a young kid from Atalanta who only scored 9 goals last year. And that's what we're seeing. He's a project striker. We got to get our teeth into him and let him grow, and that's fine. But right now, it's like I do think it will come, but yeah, he's just on the periphery a bit too much for me. So some good strength to win some fouls. I'll give him that. And he puts it about, and he does make some decent runs. He's just not getting enough shooting opportunities, and hopefully it's because also opportunities have been scarce at Man United. Hopefully, once he plays with this, hopefully this settled front three with Garnacho and Anthony, hopefully he can get more chances. But right now, striker's not getting enough chances. So Rasmus Hojlund's a little bit. It's another game without a goal in the Premier League. I think Haley said it, if he didn't have the Champions League to back him up, we'd be onto him a lot, you know. But at the same time, he is a young kid, and we have to get that out of him. We have to get his confidence up. He just needs like a lucky goal. It's a bait tap in, or hits off his arse and goes in, or, you know, the next penalty that we have, like Bruno gave it to Rashford last time, then decided to take this one today and missed. Listen, if we get a penalty against Bournemouth, give it to Hojlund, man. Get him off the mark. Arsenal did it to Havertz, and now look at him. He's doing all right. So, yeah, that's my reflection. But I just think Ten Hag, number one, Ten Hag made a bigger statement than we thought by doing that to Rashford. And it's going to be very interesting to see how Rashford responds. And it's going to be interesting to see if Ten Hag sticks with it. Is that just a one-game thing where he thought, let me just drop him to show him a lesson? And then against Bournemouth, he comes back in at home because he thinks it's going to be, you know, an easy game for Rashford to get some confidence? Or do you send a message of, no, that our balance and everything was fine without you, so I'm going to go with that again? And how does Rashford respond to that? Because even when he came on today, yesterday, he didn't really fill me with like, I'm so pissed off that, you know, I didn't start, let me run around, let me press. You know, he looked like a guy who's pissed off that he come on for 9 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But he had to feel that. He had to feel that. So, yeah, I definitely agree. I think that about the Rashford situation. That's a big statement from Erik Ten Hag. Maguire deserves massive credit. What else did I say? I said Amrabat had his first, pretty much, you know, his best game for us so far in his short time here. And in general, I saw players fighting for the manager. Let me know what you guys think. Did you see players fighting for the manager? Is it just short-lived because Chelsea ain't great and will probably beat Bournemouth, and then after that it's going to be back to the shit? Let me know how you're feeling. I'm out of here. See you in the next video soon, guys. Peace.